Hello and welcome to Gameplay Full Seasons as we continue our series on Hogwarts Legacy. Now, if talking about this game sounds like something you're interested in, then hit the subscribe button. There'll be plenty of more content coming up, and if there's specific items or discussion points that you'd like me to cover in a video, then let me know in the comments. So this video then is all around locations and where do we think, and in some cases know, we'll be able to go in this game. So the first place we can actually look to try and work out what locations do we know is going to be in the game is actually the website for Hogwarts Legacy. So there is a website out there. There's not too much on there, but there is an FAQ section and there's quite a few questions in there. The one that's of interest to this particular video is around locations. So in there it confirms you can go to Hogwarts, potentially obvious. Maybe you thought it was just in the name, but isn't going to be somewhere you can go. Absolutely is. It sounds like the majority of this game is going to be based in Hogwarts. It also says in there that you can go to Forbidden Forest, which I kind of guess is an extension of Hogwarts, and Hogsmeade, which is the village very, very close by. So again, it's sticking very close to Hogwarts, but some of that surrounding area as well. Now that doesn't tell us too much, you've only got a few locations there, but there is one other source at the moment where you can get quite a lot of information around locations, and that is the Hogwarts Legacy trailer. Now if you haven't seen it, I suggest strongly you go check it out. Lots of information in there, lots of tantalising tidbits as well, where it sort of suggests things, but you know, it is open to interpretation, as all good trailers would do. The trailer itself is very much focused in on Hogwarts. So there's a lot of information in there. You can see that you're in the courtyard. We can see that we go to the Great Hall, moving stairs, or whatever part of the castle that's called. That's obviously there as well. There's the library. You can see books moving around in there. Lots of corridors you're walking around as well. So in terms of locations, there's obviously is going to be that freedom to move around Hogwarts, which is obviously interesting and what everyone is expecting. And it's not really the subject of this video, but one thing that is interesting is in the scene in the Great Hall, there is a sorting ceremony. So obviously that's going to be interesting to see what form that takes. On the website, it suggests that will be a choice, but it did say more information to come. So we'll wait and see. I'm hoping for something a bit more impressive there. So back to the point of this video and locations. There's quite a lot of classrooms that are shown. So we can see that there's potions, there's herbology, and also defense against the dark arts. So I'd like to think there's going to be lots more classrooms, and those potentially the ones that are in there, or at least the ones that I noticed. So that's interesting and shows quite a lot already. The two other places that feature quite prominently in the trailer is the Forbidden Forest, which we already know from the website is in there, and Hogsmeade. Again, we know that's there already, so that doesn't tell us anything we don't already know. There are a lot of other locations shown as well. However, I very much get the impression that they're places within Hogwarts, hidden rooms, places underground, and also places within the Forbidden Forest, various caves, what have you. So there's nothing of all those things we've seen both from the website and on the trailer. There's nothing to really suggest you can go too far away from Hogwarts. It feels very much like that's the place that you will be staying and spending the vast majority, if not all, of your time there. The one slight exception to that seems to be, and maybe it's not exception, but there is one scene where you're flying on a creature. I'm not going to guess which one it is, but flying on some fantastic beast over a sort of rocky area that's got a few abandoned or at least slightly run down buildings. Now maybe that's on the grounds of Hogwarts, but kind of to me that suggests it's slightly further afield. Again, I imagine it's probably around Hogwarts or sticking to that theme of being at Hogwarts, but that does suggest that there are some other places out there. Now there is one particular location I wanted to talk about which doesn't appear in the trailer, not mentioned on the website, but is Diagon Alley. Now I think an awful lot of people would like to go to Diagon Alley and go to those shops. As I say, there's nothing in the video that suggests you can go there. The very opening scene has a carriage, which appears to be what takes you to Hogwarts. it's loaded with books and an owl. So that suggests somebody at least has gone to Diagon Alley. But I slightly suspect that's the actual start of the game. So I think someone's either done that for you or you're assumed to have already been there. So the fact we haven't seen anything at all, unless it's going to be some big reveal coming up, I suspect you won't be able to go to Diagon Alley, which will be disappointing, but perhaps in some sort of update or in a future game they can put it in. But like I say, at the moment I'm thinking that isn't going to be somewhere you can go here. It seems to me that it is going to very much be centred around Hogwarts and the surrounding area. Now there is one interesting point about the fact that it's all set around Hogwarts, which is it's a school year, right? You go to Hogwarts, it's a school, which means you're not there the whole year. Maybe you are at Christmas, but in the summer holidays, as you know from the Harry Potter films, people go home. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that year transition, whether you get to the end of the summer term and then just rolls over to the next term, or actually if you do have that opportunity to go away from Hogwarts, and that's the only place where actually maybe you go to Diagon Alley, maybe at the start of every year you have the opportunity to go there, which, like I say, fingers crossed that is something you can do. I guess we'll just have to wait for more updates, or maybe even the game itself, to find out on Diagon Alley. While we're talking about other locations, there is one other location I'd like to speak briefly about, actually, which is Azkaban. Now, I think very conceivably that could quite easily be put into the game. I'm not expecting it to be like if you played the game Arkham Asylum, where it's a very extensive game set inside Azkaban. But I think you could, the fact that there's clearly Death Eaters there, and I think it would be quite easy just to sort of put that into the game for a brief section. So again, we'll stay posted, see what's happening there, but I could maybe see Azkaban being in there as well.